with Nifty Culture. I'm here with Rui and Jackson, the developers for the team behind the Ghoulies project. We've been talking about this project for a little bit of time, and I'm incredibly proud of this team to do the right things, make sure that they got it right. And today, the pre-sale's done, and they're getting ready for the main launch. And this is the first time right before a launch we're having the team on stream. So no pressure, but super excited to have y'all here. How are y'all doing? Excited?
We're very excited. It's been a long time coming. We're running low on sleep, but yeah, we're doing all right.
It's obviously you guys going through your own projects and stuff, you know how how exhausting it can get, the sleepless nights, all that kind of fun stuff that you get to deal with. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to, we're doing something we've never done before, and it's massive. So it's worth putting in all this effort that we're doing. It's been huge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can only, one of the things that's really funny is in more projects than not, when a project goes live and people don't understand until you've launched a project with any amount of demand behind it, the frustration that comes with it, where if things aren't perfect and you can't handle the DDoS immediately, everyone is like, oh, what's going on? And usually what's going on is that the dev has gone on a 5-day straight coding project to make sure that everything's right. And they're like, literally their body doesn't work anymore. And so the marketing person on the team is like, oh, they're asleep, I can't get a hold of them. And it's like, no, like their body stopped working. And
they shut down.
Yeah. And so with y'all, it was really interesting because we were talking behind the scenes, and like, I thought the timing of the Ghoulies project was great. I thought the art was great. I thought like everything was awesome. And now I'm even more bullish because like we're into Halloween season a little bit more with the ideas behind that. But you did something unique in that you actually delayed the project for a long period in NFT speak to make sure that you guys got all the kinks out, and you've been rewarded by it, right? The community's embraced it. They like it. The floor of the pre-mint is actually near double what the mint price is. So can you guys talk about that a little bit?
So look, we started the project pretty early on, so it was even more of a Wild West situation than it is now. It was hard to find people to actually get involved. So we got these devs with us, and they really worked their ass off to learn how to create this project. We reached a point where we thought we were going to be ready, and unfortunately, it wasn't ready. And Jackson and I really wanted to make sure that the project was 100% ready to go. As you know, the NFT world is so unpredictable when it comes to stuff like that. That delays have to happen, and the response from our community was really, really incredible. Like we had the expectation that people were going to be mad and pretty much leave, and that the project could be dead. But in fact, the opposite happened. It grew so much more because of the transparency that we gave them, and it's honestly, it was very encouraging for us to see and hear from the people.
Yeah, like that's one of the main things, right? Is like with something like this, the transparency with any type of brand, whatever it may be, as long as you're telling people the truth and you are providing them with something that they love, I think they're going to stick around. They're going to support you till the end. Think about, if you think of like Nike, Adidas, all those types of things people love. If they're going to have a new shoe drop or whatever it is, and they're like, look, we've got to push it back a week or whatever, people are just going to be like, oh, that's annoying, but I'll get it next week. So we've been really lucky with the community that we built, and they're all stuck around. We were initially going to launch with, I think we only had about 1,300 or 1,400 in the Discord. And at that point, that was about 15 days ago or so. And at that point, we built it up to there.
7 years in NFT time.
Yeah, legit. And so we built it to that point, and we were pretty happy, right? Because we're two Australian artists, right? And we love crypto, we love NFTs and everything like that, but we're just sort of seeing how far we can take it, as a duo, and then we've got our devs in the background doing all the tech stuff, and we're happy with that. And now we delayed it a little bit, kept the promotions running, kept hyping everyone up, kept giving away free NFTs and doing collabs and all this kind of fun stuff. And now I think, like, I checked the Discord this morning, I think we're like near 8,000 or something. So like, it's been absolutely mental. And today we're doing the public launch. So it's just, I don't know, man, it's just super exciting. Like we're both like dead tired, but it's like the most exciting thing that we've ever done. So we love it.
I mean, that's what this is all about, right? It's like going through and people that haven't, like we were talking about, like people that haven't done it have no idea how hard this whole thing is. Rob says hi.
It's
he's
incredibly
on
hard.
It's
hey, Rob.
And rink by and like all the stuff. Like you can have, and Mike is our dev, and he's probably gonna murder me because I'm like the dude. I mean, I know how to code, but I don't know how to code like he does. And he went through so much effort just to get things done, and you just sit there. And now y'all are here, so there's the calm before the storm. But I think that what y'all went through is actually a blessing in disguise. Because had you launched it in the state that it was in, and it wasn't in a bad state. I don't want to imply that in any way, but when you think about like where the project was, and it gave you a chance to be doxxed and build the community and do these types of things that most projects don't do. And we've actually taken a policy where Mike wrote the NFT Bill of Rights, and he wrote some of these things where like we need to hold projects accountable, and we need to make sure that if we're going to have them on stream and stuff, we need to try to make sure that it's not going to be risky, because if people are investing a lot of money in these things, they want to make sure that they're going well. So before we get into the roadmap, because I know that there's so much more coming after this, I want to first off, I want to say hi to Too Perfect, aka Mike. I don't want to call him Mike number 2 because he's
Mike number 2.
Not, he's not Mike number 2. It's Mike ABCD. But he's our first mod of NFT culture, and he's doing a fantastic job. With our project and making sure that our community is running. And people don't realize that after you launch a project, you have customers, and those customers have demands, and they want to see you deliver on things, and they want things that aren't on the roadmap to be on the roadmap. And so, the timing was perfect to meet Mike and pull him in, and he's done an amazing job allowing me to kind of be heads down to make sure that we're delivering on the promises that we did make in the roadmap, and make sure that Mike can focus on the second forge and the October release, which, spoiler alert, the blood memes I put out there may mean something. But Mike, let's get you up. Let's have you talk about this project for a minute, and let's get in the roadmap.
Yeah, dude. Firstly, also, Mike is probably going to kill you every time you do those. Like, my heart skips a beat. So I'm just waiting for that. Guys, I'm really excited. The day is finally here, right?
It's finally
here. In touch a little bit throughout it, and even with those delays, like Mal was talking about, like you guys have been talking about, like rolling with the punches and understanding like nothing is guaranteed in NFT space in anything we do, and so. Every time even seeing someone in your guys' chat pop up saying they're gonna, why is it delayed? You always see someone else saying, cool, I'm a stack more ETH to go even further.
Yeah, that was sick.
And so there was always that momentum about it, and I really loved seeing that in that time frame. So just a little bit from my perspective in the time I spent in the Discord.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome, man. Like obviously, when you're in the bubble of creating a project like this, you've got a million of things going on, whether it's marketing, staying on track with the Discord, plans for the future of your project, all these kinds of things. And then as soon as something goes wrong, you're like, oh, shit, we're going to tell the community, and, all hell's going to break loose. But at the end of the day, you might have a couple of people, and if they leave, they leave. But we've built a strong relationship with a vast majority of our community. So they're all here sticking around. Today, all our ghoulies are revealing. So everyone's just spamming their new ghoulies in the chat, which has been awesome. See, some people are hitting the legendary drops already, which is sick.
We're seeing some really cool stuff coming out.
Yeah,
already.
it's been legit. So we're super keen to get this thing to the public launch today. It's going to be next level.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, honestly, even when I look at the artwork, right, like, there's chatter in our chat about it and just posting pictures of them and just looking around. Like, I haven't seen one I dislike.
That's good. That's good.
Combinations, just all of it is very interesting style that you don't see in every project, right? It's not just a copy paste of some popular push. So
we didn't want to do that sort of stuff.
Like that's what we've noticed as well with a lot of these new projects. Like I don't know how many more, ape or gorilla or cat or dog, koala. Like I don't know how many more of those projects can come out. And I see some of them, they'll pop off, right? And people just ape into them because of the FOMO and stuff like that. But in the end, if they're just going to copy off another project, off the hype that project has built and then hope for the best, and maybe they do sell out or whatever, it's most likely just going to end up dropping at some point out of nowhere. I'm not saying they're going to rug or anything like that, but for a project like us, we try to be unique, right? And we've got these, you can see behind me, all my superheroes, right? Like, so that's obviously where all our pop culture items come into play for our thing. Me and Rui are massive into the comic book scene, right?
Yeah,
so
I've got some back there too.
We've got this like unique design with our ghoulies, and we've got this whole backstory for them, right? So this thing is going to be like a story-driven NFT with a multi-collection where all the collections join up to each other to make all this big sick collection of ghoulies that you're going to have by the end. So we're planning ahead. We're trying to make that a next level type thing, and we just don't want to be the guys that just do this, copy someone, hype train, and then everything just goes down and dies.
So, and that's one of the big things right now is we're trying to figure out like what the next evolution is in NFTs, and it's really interesting because like we're US based, and so like right now, like the hot trend right now is like stake your coins, get a liquidity pool going, and all of that type of stuff. And I'm actually very much, I don't want to create a security. I don't want to deal with the SEC. Like I want our token to exist, and I want people to be a part of our community and really just enjoy like having access to a club. And that club, comes with benefits. It comes with airdrops and mint passes. Shout out to Moonray. And a lot of other stuff, but I don't want it to have to be this financial thing that like I'm buying this beautiful piece of art that I'm immediately going to like put into a liquidity pool, and I'm going to expect a return. And if I don't get that return, I'm going to go poop on this while it's still locked in staked in the liquidity pool. I think like we're in this dangerous period right now with the intersection of like the 2017 ICOs and like the crypto bros that are like trying to do this. And like the first one to do it, it's great, right? When Mad Dog Jones minted too many cats, and I just bought one 2 days ago, shout out Mad Dog Jones. He realized that the supply was high and he wanted less supply. So he implemented a mechanism that he could decrease supply. Now, everyone after that, as supply and NFT hype happened, they all came in and started buying NFTs. And then everyone's like Dot Pigeon and Blau, and everyone's like, oh crap, now we have to decrease our supply. So everyone copied that. Then we had the apes and the punks and the airdrops where we're going to give you free art. Now we're in this like phase of like it has to be a financial incentive with a second layer coin and all that.
Yeah,
that's we haven't talked, obviously. Are you guys creating a second layer coin, or what's your roadmap?
Look, we've talked about it a little bit. We haven't gone into too much
and in Australia you have more flexibility than in the United States for
well, we got more time, right? Like we're just a little bit behind America, so we'll just wait to see what you guys do, and then we'll copy you. No, we for our current roadmap, we're basically we've done it's pretty simple, but it sort of gives back to the community and stuff like that, right? So we hit 20%, and we start to do an airdrop. So we're going to airdrop 10 ghoulies to random holders.
See, that's awesome. You're giving time before you drop the next one.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we've already done a shitload of giveaways, right? So just to get people excited. So once our giveaway ghoulies are minted as well, everyone's going to get theirs today. We hit 40%. And we've got this mystic 1 of 1 ghoulie. So that's going to be a crazy one. Whoever gets that's going to be over the moon. 60%. We're going to start to develop the merch drop. So
the merch is going to be sick.
The merch is going to be a lot of fun, yeah. So we've got some basic designs there, what we came up for the roadmap, like just with the logo. But we've got some more in-depth coming that we'll do some sneak peeks of once we hit that milestone. The cool thing with that, like Rui is already, he already has his own merch company. So we're sort of going to have that sorted pretty fast once we get that locked in, which is going to be awesome. I think one of the big things that we're doing once we hit 80% is we're doing an auction, right, for a 1 of 1. So we launch the auction, and then however much ETH we get from that, we're going to give it back to Beyond Blue charity. So I believe we spoke to Rob about this on the first time we came on NFT Culture, and it's basically because this whole thing, right, in lockdown here in Australia. Like I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with much lockdown in America, but here in Melbourne, man, it's absolutely like just cooked. It's
not in Texas, and I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I appreciate the struggle that you guys are going
bro, it's obviously it's a blessing in disguise, another blessing in disguise that because we've got to create this whole project, right? But in terms of like so many other people, man, like there's people that are just out of work and they can't get money from the government, and there's all these things happening. So like, a lot of people's mental health as well as like them financially is just be crushing them at the moment. So Beyond Blue is a charity that helps with people's mental health and things like that. So we're going to give them as much as we can, to help sort of the Australian community at the moment. And then once we hit 100% sold out, which this is stuff we've already worked on, but we're going to open up the Underverse portal, and we're going to start revealing what we're doing for what we'll call for now the Ghoulies version 2, which we've got some designs of already, which we can't share, but they're going to be epic. And also, which we haven't got in our current roadmap, which we'll be also announcing soon, will be the comic book. So we've actually got it in production right now. Me and Rui have a lot of comic book friends who are absolute killers in the Australian comic industry. So got them working on it, and that's just a bonus for all our holders and stuff to check out once we get to that stage, which is going to be awesome.
That's really, that's the roadmap that I like, right? You're not developing a game or some TV show or and like some of them are legitimate, like they're going down that path, but to use that as a fundraise to go develop something is a lot different. You're starting with something that you have really awesome art, you have really awesome merch, you have this thing that's coming, and like there's the limits or the options are limitless, right? You can go and take it. It could be a game, it could be a TV show, but you're not promising that out the gate. And so I think that the aggressiveness that a lot of those projects have is really not awesome. I think like I said before, your timing couldn't be better, especially with I have a friend that lives in Australia, and like I'm naive as heck.
You're gonna try that like 1 in 20 million thing where do I know the other Australian?
No, I'm not even gonna do that. But like in America, like Halloween is like stop everything, like especially with the pandemic. Last year, Halloween was like I felt like a human again because it was outdoors and it was there, but it was like, and if you hear boom, 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 it's my son in the front yard punching a blow up Halloween that we have in our front yard right now. because he's like, everyone is like Halloween craze. So I'm curious, like, is Halloween as big? I mean, it's literally like a Disney movie walking down our street.
Yeah, it's that huge, is it?
Every house has 3 or 4 blow ups. They put up like Halloween lights and fake bats, and like right now it's like pandemonium for Halloween, and it's because it's like the kids get to get excited about something, and they get to dress up, and people get to be outdoors, and the trick or treating is like social distancing and all those types of things. And so I'm curious, like pre this, my friend down there said that like, you know, there's we as Americans think that like every country celebrates every American holiday, and they said that Halloween wasn't as popular, but like they have like an American theme on Halloween. Some of them. I'm curious if there's any truth to that.
Yeah, it's like from you saying that, it's kind of funny, right? Because like we watch movies, like American movies, and all the Halloweens like that, and I guess we try to imitate that to an extent. When do you guys sort of celebrate it all October? Like, is there stuff out all October? Or
yeah, I mean, it's literally, we still have 26 days to go, and we have Halloween day. Like I have,
that's like, it's like Christmas, but for like Halloween, it's like a Halloween Christmas, right?
It never stops.
I literally could go get a skeleton like 6 feet from me. That's like sitting here in my living room. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's funny. That's all. I mean, that's awesome. Like Australia is not that crazy. Like it'll come to the day, which October 30th or 31st or whatever it is. It'll be that day, and then maybe like if I was to walk out in the street, it maybe like every second or third house will have some stuff out. Depending on what suburb you're walking around in. So I guess so some will have more than others. You still have all the kids running around everywhere with their parents and stuff like that. You know, going to get lollies. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work this year because our lockdown is pretty hectic, and like people are even walking outside in the sunlight with masks on and stuff. Even though I don't know if you can catch COVID with outside with the sun, but
we don't want to we're going to get demonetized.
Let's not get too sciencey or that or do that type of talk. But I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But maybe they'll just have a thing out the front where kids go up and grab the lollies or whatever. But it's a thing here. But like Christmas for us is the big one, and obviously for you guys too.
I'm upset that Halloween isn't big here. It's the only creative.
It would be sick if it was. It would be really cool.
Well, maybe Ghoulies should be the catalyst.
Maybe we should. That. I think we are. Yeah, we will be.
after the world reopens.
Yeah.
I think a 2022 Ghoulies massive Halloween party in Australia.
A Ghoulies Halloween.
And I think the NFT culture team should come. That would be.
I think.
Let's make Halloween great again.
Also,
that's what we should do. We'll fly us down.
Sorry if I have to jump in and out. I'm just in contact with the devs. Just to be completely transparent, we could be looking at a few hours in delay on the launch just to get everything correct. What they're doing is that they're putting the listings from the pre-sale onto the full batch so that we can release them. So you guys will definitely get your Ghoulies.
Excellent.
So can you walk us through that just a little bit in terms of how that process is working? Because that is a unique process, and I think if people understand it, they'll appreciate it.
Yeah, they didn't go completely full into detail on it, so I'm only very limited. So what we had is we had a reserve for the pre-sale. What we wanted to do was we did something very different for the pre-sale. And people might see it. It was a risk for us because people could see it as like not hyped or popular, but we put a large amount in the pre-sale expecting not a lot of people to sell out. We didn't want pre-sale to sell out straight away. We wanted people to have a chance to be able to buy at the right time that they see the gas is low enough. And that was actually very successful. We had people able to wait to mint their Ghoulie at a proper gas price instead of creating a gas war, because as you know, we've got all these projects releasing at the same time that we can't even control gas wars from our end, because another project might be launching at the same time that has created an insane amount of hype. And we saw gas go up to about 600 to 800 yesterday when we launched pre-sale. and our community was able to wait until that dropped to purchase their Ghoulies. But through doing that, the risk was that we don't sell out, which means we then have to now list everything that we didn't sell out from the pre-sale into the main sale. So it's taking a bit longer than we thought, but we are launching.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. And thanks for that, transparency, like, because
we're all about that.
Yeah. And that's what people need to appreciate is like, that maybe I'm just a cynic at this point, but one of the things that's really, really frustrating is like, there's great projects with great roadmaps and like, they're not seeing this parabolic climb right now because they're not paying an influencer to 30% of the project to grow it that way. And we made the strategic decision to not do that. And I'm proud of others that don't take that approach, because you could go pay one of 5, 6, 7, 8 names, and they're gonna. And I nothing against them; they're awesome people, and they care about the community, and it's really great that the service they do, because they're able to pull in people that are NFT neophytes and actually like bring them into the fold. So like they have a firm place to that, but that's not sustainable with the amount of projects that are launching. And so one of the things that Ghoulies stood out for me and Rob and the rest of the team was that it's once again, doxed team, great art, great roadmap. They're not going anywhere. And so it gives it time to, it's one of those things. It's like one of my buddies owns a brewery, and it's like or even whatever you want, like you have to put it in and you have to let it marinate and you have to let it sit and you have to let it grow and do all the things that it needs to do. And the other side is going to be much better. And so just for me personally, these are the types of projects that really resonate, where, the flash in the pan stuff's awesome. Like I hit one every now and then, but like if I'm chasing flash in the pan stuff, I'm going to lose more than I'm not. I'd much rather bet on a team that isn't going to go anywhere. And so if you say, okay, yeah, like a 30x within an hour of launch sounds awesome, but you're gonna have to bet on 100 projects for 130x, right? But I'd rather bet on 10 teams that are going to be here a year from now, and 9 of them are still going to be here. That's really awesome.
Yeah. So that's like we do want this launch to be successful, but we also want for it to push forward. Like if it takes us not selling out straight away and creating that massive amount of spike to buy, and if we kind of prefer it to be gradual, because then it gives us time to actually plan things out and make things work and plan the future. Like we do also like the flash in the pan stuff, and it would be great if we sold out straight away, but sometimes that's not the reality. But we're stubborn enough that we've gone through 3 delays, possibly a tiny 4th one now.
3.5.
3.5, yeah, 3.25.
And we're stubborn. We're going to stick around. We hope the community sticks around with us. We've got a lot of things planned with that, and Jackson and I are always looking to expand further. So it's kind of like at the moment it's kind of like unlimited. We just need, obviously the support from the people and funds, because it's really just me and Jackson this whole time. We've been doing the marketing, we've been doing the Discord, we've been doing, working with the devs, we've been planning the future. It's crazy. It is crazy, and we do want to make a bigger team and bring more people on board. At the moment, this is as indie as it gets.
Well, that's where the growth comes, right? Like cutting your teeth and going through this produces a better product. And I mean, that's the other thing. It's and then I'm going to shut up and let Mike talk. Is it's funny because we create these roadmaps. At 10%, we're going to do this. At 20%, we're going to do this. At 50%, we're going to do this. And like, that's a genuine plan to say, like, we're not planning on selling this thing out in 17 seconds. And so the community is like, where's the roadmap? And blah, blah, blah. And they also want like the immediate sellout. And if it's not there, everyone gets frustrated. So like they want this longevity that says like if we hit 100%, it'd be okay if what's your 3-year plan would be much better than like what's your 100% sellout plan, because those are two contradictory ideas. And then I think it's okay, like the projects that I love the most, Top Dog Beach Club. I mean, they didn't. It took them a week or so to sell out. They're doing great. Like there's a lot of projects. The Fly Frogs didn't sell out in the first day, and then once people saw it, now they've got a 3, 5, 10x lift. So I think we're in this period now where like we can't judge it just on like, oh, if it, and like Gas Wars, like if you're competing with Mechaverse is going to suck the liquidity out of the market the way the mutants did. That's above 50% chance, right? So if you're going against them tomorrow evening, but they're doing things to delay it a little bit too, so that'll be fine. But like if you're competing with these liquidity suckers, it's going to take time. That's not to say that the project's a failure. It means that we're going to bide our time. We're going to work our asses off. We're going to provide utility, and we're not going anywhere. This is a 5-year plan. It's not like you guys so much.
100%. Yeah, that's it. Oh, a fun fact as well. I see the Top Dog thing behind you. That was literally one of, I think, if not the first NFT that I bought after watching them on your guys' show as well. So we've gone full circle.
Shout out to Paul and Abby. I mean, another great team, right? Like they did all the right stuff and stuck around.
100%.
Mike, sorry, I keep.
Rui's just ducking out, just getting some technical stuff done.
You're good. It's marinating, right, Mal? Just gotta sink in. No, like all the stuff you guys are talking about, like, because especially with how many projects launch every day, right? Like even in our chat, right? How many are we constantly talking about and trying to stay on the pulse of? And I think the thing that underroots a lot of that, and the things that we see in a lot of these successful projects, are kind of two areas. Like, does it deliver value, right? Like people are in NFTs for something more than a JPEG that you right click save as. There's more to it. There's deeper meaning and deeper integration to it. And so does it deliver value, right? And then are the people curious? I think it is a really underrated one. Like, are the people that I'm interacting with on the staff, the creators, the devs, the artists, are they asking questions? Do they want to learn and do more?
Exactly. So, I think that's one of the big things we've learned as well, is like, the value that you can get from listening to your actual community. Like we've got, X amount of OGs in there now. And they're talking, we're talking back and forth every single day, and we'll get DMs from them. Even our mods, they're all coming up with these dope ideas for the futures of Ghoulies. Like, me and Rui are massive creatives, right? Like we're artists, basically full time. So we're used to being very creative. We're used to drawing a lot, all that kind of fun stuff, and creating new things. So the thing is, there's, with one person, there's always a ceiling, right? With your creativity, unless you're like some sort of savant, I guess. And then you collab, and then you got another ceiling, and then you collab again, and it keeps going up and up and up. So that's just, one of the really cool things that we've done is we've taken things on board for some of the community members. So that's also helping evolve the project as well. And then obviously with our devs, we're going to go through with whether it's breeding or whatever it may be for the Ghoulies V2. But that's a whole nother thing. And we've also got a really cool airdrop unlock that we're going to be revealing soon. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. Rui, are we going to talk about the?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's give people something to look forward to. Like we are possibly looking at a small delay, nothing as big as we've had before, but we should announce something just to give back. We're announcing that we're going to be doing some special airdrops for people holding certain Ghoulies. So we're looking at, actually, let's just say it. Why not? For people holding 3 Ghoulies with the Dragon Ball eyes, we will be dropping in an undead Shenron into their wallet.
Yeah.
and that we're looking at that giving you one wish, and that wish is to get a free mint off of the next project. So you hand that in and you get a free mint of the next project. And we are looking at breeding capabilities for the next project too.
Yeah, so it's gonna be sick, right? Like I don't like Mal and Mike, I don't know if you guys ever watched Dragon Ball Z when you were younger or watch it now. but basically a big part of the story, right, is they go around the world and collect the Dragon Balls, and then when you've got all 7, it summons the dragon, and then you get one wish. And you know, with all these cool pop culture references in our Ghoulies, we're like, why not, you know, utilize some of the properties that we have to then unlock extra stuff. So I think that would be a sick one. Like I've already done the artwork for the undead Shenron, and I think it's gonna be wild. People are gonna love it. And then it becomes another thing, like, right? Like say we only have 33 of them, which is basically 33 wishes. Do people hold on to that so that becomes more valuable, or do you trade it in? Come Ghoulies V2 for the next mint, for a free mint. So it sort of creates another little supply and demand as well on the side of the Ghoulies Genesis collection, which is cool.
Yeah, that's something we want to do. We want to look at some of the really cool assets that we have and things that we can pull off. We are talking about some of the Marvel inspired or parody items to maybe give something to people holding a certain amount of them. There's a few things that we can do with that to create those events to fill out the gap between Ghoulies V1 and Ghoulies V2.
That's the right way to do it. And I think taking the pop cult, that's why we created NFT culture, right? And I think that, you know, being objective up front with the V1, V2 and those types of things is really powerful. And like when you think about the thing that I've learned from NFTs since we launched ours is, and it's one of those things, until you go through the trenches, you don't realize the possibilities are endless. And like your community can come up with like you could be like, our roadmap is this, and then like there's an exponentially better idea. And like from the evolution from us, like we didn't think, you know, foraging was just getting started with the, you know, the goats and the goblins and other things. But like we created, like in our opinion, it's a very subjective opinion, we created one of the most complex foraging mechanisms that's on contract right now. I encourage everyone to go try and figure out how we did it, because there might be some surprises in there for people that are able to exploit it with our current contract. But what we can also do is we launched a contract, and we don't have to like keep doing all these crazy things. And like, it's just really awesome to see that if there's a cool community, that's awesome. If there's a cool community, there's a lot of possibility. We've been going for almost 40 minutes, and you guys had to.
It's all right. It looks like we're looking at a delay. We can stick around for a bit. I actually want to talk a bit more about our plans. Actually,
let's do it.
Thanks to the people that are participating in sale and launch. We are looking at getting a bigger dev team so that V2 can have a bigger. It's a much bigger project. We started off with this project when we didn't know much about like what NFTs can do. All we saw was just these avatar projects coming out. And we were like, oh, that's sick. We really want to do that. Now that we know how broad it can go, we want to take it to that level. So, we are looking at getting a bigger Australian team on board. And they're really, really talented guys.
That's so awesome. Like, and that's the other thing is like, it takes a village, it takes a team. You can't just do stuff with everyone else. And that's the other thing is like those devs are getting a lot more expensive.
They if anyone's coding out there, I would suggest that go into blockchain development, because the supply and demand for those guys right now would just be through the roof. Like it's crazy.
And the thing people don't realize, and I'm gonna throw some more. Some people would call it alpha. Some people would call me an idiot for sharing it. But like the Solidity piece was like the easy piece for Mike. It's it's like the blockchain is, I mean, it's transparent. You can look at all the contracts. You can see everything.
Yeah.
But making it work with making Web 2 and Web 3 work together is where the majority of the complexity comes in. And then like we have people that, you know, have cold storage and they want to use that, and everything's being built for MetaMask. Like if you're a developer and you're super talented, filling that, being the liaison between Web 2 and Web 3, that's where the magic happens. And if you're interested in any of that, be an expert in that, and you are going to be a very, very hot pursued person in the industry right now.
Yeah, legit. Like it's just crazy at the moment. And even in terms of like the artists, like I know a lot of artists, right? Like I don't think we've talked to you, Mal, about it, but like me and Rui, we normally do like the conventions around Australia, right? So you got these big comic cons. We have ones called Supernova, and so there's these big comic conventions that run around Australia, and we'd have to fly out every say month or two or whatever, and do, let's say, 10 to 15 shows a year. So obviously we can't do that now because of lockdown. So again, that's helped with us with the NFT project. But through that, we know so many artists, right? And I'm trying to get onto most of them, just be like, you guys have to look into NFTs. Like, I don't know, like we've still got friends, they might be doing Kickstarter, Patreons and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's awesome. But in terms of the future, like I know, you know, like Avatar projects probably have a certain amount of time until they drop off a little bit. And then it becomes full on utility and see what their utility is. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like we've come so far just as two Aussie artists. You know, we've actually launched a project together. Like it's insane. Like I still can't even believe that we've done it and we've got this far and we're talking to you guys about it. You know, like it was not 2.5 months ago where I was just watching you guys on YouTube, just sitting in my chair, like fuck, what? I need to make a fucking project, and I just, you know, I just couldn't fit it in my brain of how to do it, and now we're here. So it's amazing, and we're telling every other artist, if you're listening to this, or you know, if you want to talk to me about it, like the NFT world, it's possible, and it's insane. It's the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah. NFTs change lives. Really quickly on that is, you know, it's one of those things that for me, like I grew up and I was kind of a geek, I was a nerd, but like, and I collected baseball cards, but I also collected like the X-Men cards or the Marvel cards, and like
I got
like, and this was like, I'm dating myself here, but it was like one of those things that, like, I mean, this was pre-Magic the Gathering for me, and like it's just one of those things that like there's so much potential with all of these NFTs. And I say this a lot, that, you know, my kids are going to be looking at me like, you bought Fortnite skins and you didn't own them. Like the game died and you weren't able to like port that, you know, T-pose into another game. Like there's just this thing that's going on right now with NFTs, that we are so early that there's so much potential and so much opportunity. And I'm looking forward, and you know, it's going to be so much fun for me to just look back at this whole period, because like we're still, I mean, you know, Gary Vee and everyone talks about it, but like we're not early. We're like before early. Like we haven't even knocked at the door yet in terms of this party that's happening. And so these projects are awesome. And the analogy there, it's funny because like Jason Campbell's one of my favorite comic book artists, and like I think his name's Jason Campbell. I hope I got that right. But anyway, like there's a lot of comic book artists, and it's like the Jose Delbo got in trouble with DC sending their, you know, burn notice for, you know, all these contractors for DC Comics and Marvel. And like what really excites the hell out of me is like now these comic book artists, they cut their teeth working for these old institutions, and now like the next Disney, Tom Bilyeu said this a lot of times, and he's been on our show. Tom Bilyeu's coming on our show tomorrow. I hope
is he? Yeah, I watched the other episode with him. He's awesome. I've been following him for a long time now.
He's very cool.
He's a beast.
We've joined his Discord, so
if you can afford a Tom Bilyeu, get it. Like financial The only time I'm ever going to say
Financial.
this in my entire career, I promise.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it after this. Financial advice: if you can afford a Tom Billieu, get a Tom Billieu.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same mind frame as well. I missed out. I sort of somehow convinced myself not to get a V Friends, and
probably us. We were talking. They were listening at 3. We watched it go down to 0.5 live on stream, and we were before stream. We're all, no matter what, we're buying this. We're all 5 of us. We are going to buy this,
and no one got
no
it.
matter what. And all the market just. Legacy media just doesn't translate to NFTs, and we just talk ourselves out of it. It's biggest financial advice, biggest mistake I've ever made is not buying.
Yeah, that's hectic. Like I wasn't that hectic. I wasn't full live streaming and stuff, but I think I checked it halfway through the day, and I was like, I've got the money, right? I've got the money. Do I just get one on secondary? Do I? And I'm just, and I don't know. I just didn't do it. Just didn't do it. And now they're fucking mooned. So.
Yeah, well, I mean that's
NFT life, right?
NFTs, yeah. Don't look back.
So then I was like, I'll make my own one, right?
Yeah, just
yeah.
But real quick, and because I think this is a really important point, is that the next Disney, maybe not the next $1 billion franchise is in NFTs, right? Then it doesn't have to be Disney. It can be Dark Horse. It can be Marvel. It can be DC. It can be Image. Like there will be an IP that is created on the blockchain that is going to take the world by storm and there's so many people from Micah Johnson to Tom Billieu to all of these creators to y'all that have this potential. And that's the thing that excites me the most is that DC and Marvel sending these cease and desist to all their artists and doing all this. Don't look back at that. Don't hate DC and Marvel for protecting their IP. It's okay. That's the world we lived in, right? And they're building, every 6 months there's another Marvel movie, and I love them. They're awesome. They're fun to watch. You've got a bunch of them behind you. I've got a bunch of them too. I'm still gonna enjoy them. But what excites me is that there's gonna be something in this new space that is going to be sitting behind you next to all of those in the next 2 years. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. We are at this inflection point, and that's where the power happens. And so y'all coming from that background and creating this first project is I guarantee you this isn't your first project. This is you coming in, you're going to provide great value. And this project is probably going to give you access to your next project and the project 100%. After that.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That's what you bet on. You bet on the team, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's why that's also the main reason why we want to be transparent and talk to these guys. People, it's I wouldn't say frustrating. It's understandable. People don't get how difficult it is to start this project, let alone with it being 2 artists running the show pretty much. It's we don't have a big team because we obviously we didn't have the money when starting it. We didn't have the funds for it. So now that we're getting into this project, it's only going to get bigger and better. That's the only way.
Also, Rue, we're gonna shout out our front end website man, Matt.
Yeah, Matt Combs. We didn't do that last time. We
forgot about him last time, and he's like, boys, you forgot me.
Almost did it again too.
Yeah.
So he sort of came in a little bit late, but he gave us the front end concept for the website. We had. Because I've never done website design, but I did some poorly designed thing, and we had it up. And he's like, "What about this?" And he just showed us this thing that looked kick ass, and we're like, "You're the man." So we got him on. And he's one of our head moderators as well, so he's been killing it. Obviously, for me and Rui, we've been doing let's say all the managing and the artwork and the creative and everything. But yeah, we've got a bunch of really cool mods on the Discord that have literally just volunteered to help because they love the Ghoulies that much. And we're like, cool. So we're obviously going to hook them up with some free stuff after launch, and then talk about potential jobs for a manager of the Discord. So it'll free up some time for us. But yeah, so there's obviously us two sort of at the top, and then the devs, and then all the mods and everything like that. So it's just it's been amazing. I love it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Just don't want to forget about anyone.
No.
It's the Oscars speech, right?
Yeah, that's it, right?
Matt, any final questions?
Sorry, I had a bunch.
Oh, no pressure.
On me.
Yeah, you went from here.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matt, he's in the comments, me boys. I bet he was waiting that whole time for us to talk about him.
Mike, I called you Matt because I just had Matt up, and I've had a glass.
Yeah, I was like, have we got a new guest? Like,
No.
We're just throwing everyone up, you know?
Yeah.
Just everyone. I had just pulled it up, and I was reading it as I was throwing it to Mike, and then I heard the door noise, and that just, anyway, yeah.
All right, chaos. We're used to it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I've kind of had that outside looking in side of it through the different, just the whole creative process, right? From the initial interviews, even on our YouTube to what it is today. And kind of from your guys' end and the creative end, like, what do you think is something that like you guys took out of this that you didn't really expect to take out of it going in?
It's a good question. It's a real good question.
Well, sorry, what was the question?
What did we? Yeah, that was deep. I didn't expect it. Rui, what did we get out of this whole experience that we didn't expect?
Oh man, you're gonna lose sleep. No, we got confirmation that transparency is key, and that it's always about being honest with the community. We noticed that there's a lot of projects in the NFT world at the moment that do a rug pull. They just give them something and then they disappear. We're not about that. We want to create a project. We want to create something that's story driven. We want to work to our assets. We don't want to promise things that we don't think that we can't deliver. It is about. It's all a balancing act, and it's a crazy spinning plate scenario. There's about like 60 spinning plates at the moment. That's why I'm like everywhere at once and disappearing. There's a lot of stuff going on. It has been stressful. That's something that we don't put lightly. It's been stressful. We've lost a lot of sleep. There's been moments where we're like so hyped about it, and then other moments where we're like, oh no, what's gonna happen now? It's been a roller coaster for sure.
It's like crypto, right? It's like fucking riding these emotional roller coasters. One day's green candle, next day's fucking red candle. But I think for me, the dealing with the stress, I guess, is one thing. And obviously you talk to a lot of people. There's a lot of stress, a lot of no sleep involved, all this kind of shit. But for myself, like I'm a full-time artist, right? And I work from home. So my day-to-day life, there's not a lot of stress. I wake up, have breakfast, have my coffee, come to my office and start drawing on my tablet. So this has sort of been very eye-opening to the stresses that that are real, that is involved with a project like this. So me and Rui are very positive guys. We're never going to get down and dumps and be like, oh, fucking, why didn't we sell this many? Why didn't we do this? Oh, this guy's saying this, We're always staying up here with the positivity. We know we've got the skills. We know we've got the creativity. We got the drive to pull this off. So if it's, if the sales aren't here and we need them to be here, we're going to keep pushing. So yeah, it sort of reinforced our drive as well, which is another cool thing. But yeah, like I'm used to lots of comments and things. Like I built an Instagram from 0 to 150K, right? So I was already used to dealing with a lot of people. I guess, like you said before, dealing with a lot of customers is another thing because they want some shit off you. So if you got 5,000 people there and you don't give them what they want, that's another whole thing you got to deal with. So I guess some customer care comes in as well, which has been a learning experience. And even me, Rui and I's relationship, right? Like we've always been really good friends, and we see each other at the conventions and stuff. Cause he's in a different city. Every time I go up there, every time he would be down here, we talk shit, we go hang out, go have dinner and beers and that things like that. But now I talk to him more than my girlfriend. Like it's hectic. Like we spend 3 to 4 hours of the day on phone calls and talking to each other on Discord and shit like that. So
I talk to Mike A more than I talk to my wife right now.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
No, that's awesome. So I'm introducing a new question to end every show, and I hope Pio and I hope the others take it. Favorite NFT artist or project?
Project
I
so
have one that's currently in the works from a favorite artist of mine.
Go.
It's called oh, let me get the date right. Icarus. Do you remember the date, Jackson?
Is it
Icarus 2120?
Yeah,
he's
2120,
done
right?
by a Perth artist. His name's Mark Lothier, and it is fantastic stuff. Fantastic. So that's something to keep an eye out for in the future.
Yeah, it's super early days, right? He's another just like extremely talented comic artist that we know, and we've got him onto the NFT project. So he's in the development process of creating all the avatars and items and things like that. And once he's ready to go, like we'll get him onto you guys. You'll see his artwork, and it'll blow your face off. Like, you're just like, how is he? the amount of detail he can get into his characters and stuff, next level. And he's designed for his costumes and shit are insane, and it leads into this disgustingly huge comic book that he has been developing for years and years. Like, I could see it being like a Netflix TV series type thing. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah, put him on our radar. We'd love to have him on.
Yeah, so definitely.
He's going to be amazing. In terms of stuff that's out now that, like, people that I don't know personally, I'm not sure. Like, I think I don't know. I don't know if I could pick. Like, I've gone into like the Killers and stuff like that. Like, I bought their stuff. The Wicked Bone Club. Like, I've got a bunch of their stuff. I like their Hounds, and I think they're going into the Monsters. Like, I really like their artwork. Yeah. What about you guys? I'm interested to see, like, hear of what your guys' favorite project or artist is.
Yeah, Mike.
Yes. Yeah. So from my side, I've really enjoyed Dario De Signa. You guys know who that is? So
I'm not familiar with that one. What's that one?
Yeah. So the Minds series. It's MINDDS.
Okay.
Just really interesting. The community is really cool, so they're very involved with it as well. And I think it's a little bit of a different angle too, because it's not just an avatar project. It's not putting out to 10,000 people. It's a much more limited selection. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit more of an art curation process and a carryover that they can cultivate a different kind of community a little bit. And so, yeah, and they do a bunch of different collabs with the community.
Oh, wow.
So nice. He's always pulling in different artists, pulling in 3D visual artists and putting it up in different areas. And so there's a lot of really interesting stuff on there also. So I can drop you the official link too.
Yeah, it's the link. So are they so would they be one of ones? Each one would be a one of one, or how does that work?
Yeah, so his Mind series would be one of ones, and then the collabs would vary depending on different launches that they're doing with different artists.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, but awesome. A lot of giveaways, but a lot of ways to cultivate conversation in the community as well, and so just it's a nice, refreshing change from some of the invite Discord blitzes and things like that that we participate in.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, is because there's a lot of projects that I really enjoy. I'm actually having a lot of fun right now with some of the utility projects at Crypto Raiders, which I've been pretty bullish on for some time. But for me personally, like, I'm using, and I've been really lucky right now that I've been able to get some alpha and some wins, and I've been able to go back now. So the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been going back and picking up products sold too early. So I was able to go back and get a ferocious. Am I still here? Am I frozen?
Yeah, you cut out for like 2 seconds. Well, you might cut out for 2 seconds.
Okay. If I just stop talking, let me know, because like my screen's frozen, but I'm still able to talk.
Yeah, no, we could see you. We could see you.
All right, so that's crazy. So yeah, the ferocious has been I've owned it, Victor and Victoria, 3 times. So I'm wearing my Ferocious hat today. And then also I went and picked up another Mad Dog Jones, just because I'm trying to get. I can't afford a Beeple yet, so I'm trying to go back and collect the what I consider the blue chips. And so, when you do, my number one piece of advice is have fun, play the game, support projects. But if you do have a quick win and you do have liquidity, pay off in real life obligations. That's
100%, yeah.
And simultaneously, if you can go back and get some of these older pieces of art, there's nothing wrong with that. And if there's artists that you love and like, and there's so many, like No Creative Abode is one of my favorites, but his art's like 4 ETH, one of ones, and those types of things. So just make sure you're not don't be penny wise pound foolish. And my thing personally is like the PFP projects are great, but the real things that I want to focus on as well are like focus on the awesome doxed PFP projects, but also go back and pick up art and artists and support the community, because there are so many people that are just here for the first time trying to do this. And I'm going to restart my browser, so I'm going to pop off. So you guys chat for a second, then I'll pull Rui back on to close it.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Sounds good.
So, Mike, are you looking to get into any of like I don't know if you have any of like the Bored Apes or anything like that? Are you one of those guys that's going to go like Bored Apes and then into like a punk or anything like that if you get to that sort of level? Or
yeah, I mean, I think everyone loves putting the high shelf, right? Looking up, I don't have one right now. I think my intermediate of intermediates, if you can call it that, is kind of that Oni Force. I think that's my next
nice, cool.
larger one that I want to kind of go into and see value in for the hype in the community. Do EDM content every weekend. How do you go wrong with that?
Yeah, that's it. Did you mint one of the Onis, or did you get on secondary?
No, I get to just watch it through the glass right now. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
In time, we all have something to shoot for, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Exactly.
Like I got a few mates that got onto was it the Galactic
Apes?
Galactic Apes, sorry.
Yeah.
That, and I think the Toads. And they're just
the
been
toads
popping
or
off.
the zombie toads, because the toads are printing right now.
Cryptodes?
Yeah, that's that project. Paper D, who actually is a creative director at DreamWorks, he comes on the show quite a bit. He was telling me buy the toads, and toads fell to 1.2, and he's like, just buy one, dude. And I'm like, I can't.
Buy the toad dip.
I'm spread thin and during the toad dip. And that's the second biggest miss is I had Oni Force. I sold at 3. I'm okay with that. I want to pick up an Oni.
What's the floor? What would the floor now be on Oni? It'd be like,
I think it's down to 2.2.
2.5-ish. It's kind of been somewhere around there.
Not too bad. Yeah. I've got a few friends we've got a big group chat of NFT collectors, and a few of them got on the Cryptodes and the Galactic Apes, and they're just loving life right now. I was like, it's a good spot, but they might have 30 or 40 other ones that didn't pop, but they got some good ones.
I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, and I have to wrap because it's National Neighborhood Night Out in America, and so we've got to do a neighborhood barbecue thing.
Sounds fun.
It's nighttime for us. It's morning for y'all. I think we're
I had the sun just smashing me in the face just before.
Sun's going down now, which is awesome that we can do this. But it's funny because, and this is a hyper critical thing. I'm a Bored Ape Yacht Club owner. I bought it for 0.2 or fewer, and I bought 3 of them, and I sold 2 of them at 0.5, and I thought it was a genius, and I'm not. But it's funny because the Bored Ape Yacht Club right now is and you're seeing it today where their control on the market has been waned over the last 3 weeks with Subduck's doing some of the stuff they're doing, Toads doing what they're doing, the Kong's project that's 100 ETH floor, and so we're seeing a lot of stuff now where there's theories or hypotheses that the Bored Ape Yacht Club is they own very, very valuable items, but they don't have the liquidity that they need to move the market. And so we're seeing some of these other projects like the Toads, like the Kongs
Yep.
and the Galactic Apes and some of the others that are whales that also have the ability to move markets. And
Yeah.
it's looking intentional to kind of take a little bit of that shine away from the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And there's also the theories now are like the mutants in particular. There's a lot of highly liquid people that bought the mutants, and the mutants are being treated like second class projects within the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So it's just, this is agnostic to the Ghoulies, agnostic to the project, but it's really interesting to see how these clubs are forming, and you never know. And like, this is just a cautionary tale for these clubs. It's like, there's more than enough room for everyone to be successful, and you can find.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah, just have fun, right?
It's
find people that resonate, enjoy it.
Yeah. It's like, everyone's trying to build a building, right? Like what Gary Vee would say. He's like, just, you can build the biggest building, but you don't need to knock down anyone else's building, right? Like everyone can have their building. So that's the thing that I like about the whole space. Everyone's got room to be successful, definitely.
Absolutely. All right. Any parting thoughts? We've been going for a little bit over an hour. I'm excited.
It went longer than I expected.
Yeah,
good fun. That's good fun.
Sorry, I had to jump in and out with the devs. We are looking at a 3-hour delay, 3 to 4 hour delay on launch. But it is coming today. It is. Yeah,
mad.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. I was getting G'd up this morning for which everyone's spamming their revealed Ghoulies in the chat.
Well, yeah, all the pre-sale guys already have those.
Because we draw the items, right, and like we can come up with cool combinations, but then you see the friggin' algorithm create these ridiculous combinations, and it's just it's sick. I love it. So cool.
It's awesome. We can't wait to see how it does, and after you enjoy tonight, get some sleep, and pop your bottles of champagne, regardless of if it's an immediate sellout or not. I think you've got strong fundamentals, strong social. When you look at my fundamentals are, look at the Discord, look at the Twitter, look at the team, look at the art in reverse order. Okay. I like the team, I like the art, I like the Twitter, I like the Discord. It's not if but when. We all want the shiny, piece that we launch and it sells out, because the only reason we want that is because it eliminates momentary stress. We can take a deep breath. But with y'all, it's not if but when. And so regardless, I want to have you guys back on. I hope someday you guys get to come up here again, and I hope someday I get to come down there and the Nifty Culture team, Mike and Pio and Rob and John. I'd love to meet, and I'm impressed by y'all. I'm impressed by your team, and I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Are you guys all in Texas, or are you sort of spread out a bit?
We're all over.
We're all over. Okay.
Mike, where are you from?
I'm in the Reno, Tahoe area.
Okay, cool.
And then Pio's up in the East Coast, and then the four of us are in Texas, but John is down in Houston, which is 5-hour drive from here.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Next time, as soon as our flights are back open and shit to America, whenever that may be, where we'll come up. We're gonna have to come see us.
I'll come meet y'all anywhere. We'll have some
I'll come down to Melbourne or Sydney. Melbourne and Sydney is the two best spots in Australia, anyway. So
maybe March now.
You come to one of them, and we'll
Hey, we're spoiler. We're throwing Nifty Culture Con Vegas 2022 in March.
In Vegas.
Yeah.
Shit, we got to come to that.
Actually, there's a bigger project too that we're helping launch and promote. But I can tell you right now, I'll connect you offline with the team. But there's a bigger thing going on in March 9th through 11th in 2022, and y'all definitely need to be a part of it. Vegas.
Okay, we need to go to Vegas. I've been there once. I'll do it again.
I've never been, so I'd love to go.
We need to get Rui there. That sounds awesome, man. Let's do it.
Awesome. Mike, any parting thoughts?
No, man, just excited. Once we get off this, I'm going straight to my wallet and seeing what I pulled.
Awesome. So post it in Discord, man. I want to see it.
Yeah, we'll do.
Easy as. Thanks so much, guys.
All right, take care, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.